Priscilla Thompson, NBC News.
And that is Nightly News for this Thursday. Thank you for watching. I'm Lester Holt. Please take care of yourself and each other. Good night.
KUAM TV8, first on Guam.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
The new chief medical examiner gives his first sit-down interview, sharing his key priorities and critical gaps in resources. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with the story coming up.
A corrections officer arrested and charged with smuggling meth into an inmate, his brother. I'm Jonagan Charfus, and coming up tonight, details on the magistrate's complaint.
Education officials discuss cell phone use on school grounds after students use their devices to cheat on tests. This as states across the nation roll out bans and restrictions on phones. Hafa day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Destiny Cruz-Lingus. Thanks so much for ending your week here with us. Well, we start off with an exclusive look inside Guam's Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, where newly appointed CME Dr. Kenny Su is raising serious concerns. KUAM News sat down with the CME for his first in-depth interview since taking the helm last October. And he's sounding the alarm about critical resource shortages that he says are threatening their ability to serve the island. Mitsuki Hirayama has the story.
About 7 months in on the job, Guam's new chief medical examiner, Dr. Kenny Su's top priority is simply maintaining the office's basic functions, a daunting task given the outdated equipment, staffing shortage, and aging facility.
It should work, but there's no light bulb company now. It's such old that we cannot use it.
Oh, they don't make the light bulbs anymore for these.
Correct. So those lights I bought for myself. I had to pay for myself to buy some light so I can do my autopsy.
The building, now more than 40 years old, alongside the Guam Memorial Hospital, has seen no major upgrades, even as Guam's population has doubled and continues to grow with the military buildup. Dr. Su, who brings extensive experience from Texas and California, says the staff is stretched thin with just 2 employees, and the office is nowhere near the national standard of service.
We cannot even reach to a standard level of service now. So it's very hard for us to maintain it. Hopefully, by the support of the public, the legislature, and the postmortem committee, we can have a better improvement for this office.
Currently, the only other employee, Johanna Bomba, is juggling administration, investigations, and assisting with autopsies. And even the morgue refrigerator is failing.
In the morgue, our refrigerator is so old, so it doesn't work sometimes. So what happens to the bodies? It can get decomposed.
The office handles about 200 cases a year, including a rising number of homicides and complex infant deaths. And the top cause of death?
Drug use is a concern for this place. The meth use is the main trend here.
While the legislature has approved hiring a death investigator, he says the office has no budget to fund the position, making thorough investigations difficult.
We need to provide a better service for everyone that can possibly be here. It's the dignity and for a legal purpose too.
Dr. Su adds the facility lacks critical space, like a consulting room for grieving families, a training area for future doctors and nurses, and even a secure evidence room.
It's very important for family and the justice system to know what happened. So we need to get the evidence and choose for the people. It's the last human rights for the citizens.
His message is clear. Without major investment and support, the CME's office may not be able to meet the needs of the community to provide answers and uphold justice. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
A trusted corrections officer is now on the other side of the law, accused of smuggling methamphetamine into prison for his own brother. Jonathan Charfris has more.
It was a story that KUAM reported Wednesday on primetime. According to the magistrate's complaint, at around 9:30 Tuesday night, Department of Corrections officer 32-year-old Brian Andrew Whalen arrived early for his overnight shift at the Hagåtña detention facility. His shift wasn't set to start until midnight, but just before 11:35 p.m., Whalen was seen near his brother's cell. His brother, 41-year-old Ezekiel John Whalen, an inmate at the facility, asked for snacks. Officer Whalen produced 2 boxes of Raisinets, handed them over, and went off to begin his duties in another block. But things took a turn when corrections officers inspected the candy boxes. As they opened the second one, Ezekiel began to panic. Hidden inside, 2 plastic baggies taped to the box containing a crystal-like substance. Field tests confirmed the substance was methamphetamine. The 2 bags weighed in at just under 2 grams each. Brian Whalen was immediately taken into custody. He declined to give a statement. According to court documents, further questioning of Ezekiel led officers to more contraband, chewing tobacco hidden in a trash bin, wrapped in plastic and electrical tape. Over 40 grams were recovered. Both Whalens now face serious charges related to possession and smuggling of contraband. Brian charged with official misconduct and obstructing governmental functions, both as misdemeanors. DOC Director Fred Bordallo Jr. in a previous interview after major contraband was found during a shakedown.
The warden is planning to do a little bit more, and he's also instilling, he's doing some policies with things that are not allowed to be brought in, or things that have to be shown to officers as you're entering in and out. Staff, employees, officers too have to show what they're bringing in. You know, they have, because we want to make sure it, again, you know, it's not one of the officers or it's not one of a staff who's working in our site, and then vendors too are being checked too that are coming in and out of the facility.
Officials say the officer violated his oath and his official duty by delivering drugs into a secure facility. Bordallo reiterating,
one officer's misconduct doesn't define the entire, right? People are trying to say, oh yeah, it defines. No, it doesn't define, right? A majority of our officers, employee and staff are walking a straight line, doing their jobs, being professional. So one officer's misconduct doesn't define the entire organization.
Jonathan Charfris, KUAM News.
A man accused of sexually assaulting 2 young girls and assaulting a woman is behind bars after leading police on a chase and escaping into the jungle. 22-year-old Piston Nicholas was arrested after police found him asleep at his home after he fled a traffic stop, crashed a car, and ran into nearby jungle. Nicholas is facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of second-degree criminal sexual conduct, attempted sexual assault, and assault. According to court documents, the girl told police that when she was 13, Nicholas entered her bedroom, pushed her onto a bed, touched her inappropriately. A 9-year-old girl entered the room and confronted him, prompting him to leave. Now, that same younger girl later told police Nicholas also assaulted her when she was 11. In a separate incident last month, police say Nicholas damaged a home and a vehicle during an argument. A witness told officers Nicholas was drunk when he broke windows, kicked a woman, and shattered the back window of a car. On Tuesday night, officers attempted to pull Nicholas over, but he fled and eventually crashed before fleeing on foot. Nicholas denied the sexual assault allegations, but admitted to fleeing from police and damaging property. His total bail is set at $10,000 cash. In a packed session, Guam lawmakers advanced a series of measures aimed at improving housing security, environmental protection, election integrity, and economic development. Navia Anderson joins us with a roundup of Thursday's session.
During Thursday's session, lawmakers tackled measures spanning from property rights to environmental enforcement and voter privacy. First up, Senator Shelley Calvo introduced Bill 23, the Uniform Real Property Transfer on Death Act. It proposes a streamlined process for passing down homes without probate.
This legislation provides a straightforward and affordable legal tool that allows individuals to pass their real property to a designated beneficiary upon death, all without the need for probate.
Moving on to protecting our environment, senators advanced Senator Sabina Perez's Bill 28, which ensures that 20% of Guam's use tax is allocated to the Guam Environmental Protection Agency to bolster enforcement and staffing.
By having enough staff, qualified and sufficient personnel at the agency, we're able to implement these critical laws that protect our environment and community. By diversifying funding for Guam EPA, especially at this time when federal cuts are being implemented or being pondered, it is very critical that the agency receive local funding.
Turning to election reform, Bill 53 by Senator Tello Taitagui fights to repeal a law requiring the posting of voters' names and addresses outside of polling sites, which she says is a major risk to residents' privacy.
By repealing this outdated requirement, we're safeguarding the personal information of our voters, reducing financial waste, and strengthening public trust in our election system.
Taitagui's Bill 55 improves campaign finance transparency by mandating quarterly disclosure of contributions to and the expenses of a campaign.
More frequent reporting also means early detection of discrepancies or compliance issues, giving the Guam Election Commission an opportunity to provide guidance and intervene before problems escalate.
And back on the topic of inheritance, Vice Speaker Tony Atta introduces Bill 80 to raise the threshold for what qualifies as a small estate in Guam's probate system by 50%, reflecting inflation and modern financial realities.
Increasing the threshold for estates of small value by 50% is not just a financial adjustment. It is a commitment to efficiency, fairness, and accessibility in our probate system.
Finally, Bill 109 by Senator Jesse Lujan would let Port Authority of Guam offer lease payment offsets to tenants who invest in public benefit improvements.
This is not a rent waiver. It is not a discount. It is a performance-based post-lease offset, the one that is only earned after the work is completed, verified and cleared, tied to public benefit or operational utility.
Overall, the legislature's focus was clear: modernize Guam's laws, protect its environment, and support our families, all while prioritizing fiscal responsibility and public trust. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
The Guam Waterworks Authority is keeping their record going with their 12th consecutive unmodified audit for FY 2024. The audit showed no material misstatements or questioned costs. In addition, it also indicated a $5.7 million reduction in liabilities. GWA also reports their total operating revenues reached $129.9 million, a 20.5% increase, while their net operating income jumped to $20 million, up from just under $2 million in FY 2023. General Manager for the authority, Miguel Bordalio, says, quote, "This consistent record of clean audits is not just about compliance, it's about trust." GWA also saw a $6.2 million increase in total net position and added $27.5 million in new utility assets to service key projects enhancing water and wastewater system performance. And with millions invested in capital improvement projects coming in the next 5 years, GWA says they're committed to delivering reliable water and wastewater services that support Guam's future. Time for a quick break. You're watching KUAM.
Day Fresco Fridays on KUAM News, presented by Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas, located in Hagåtña, just across from the Gatti Shopping Center.
Win one championship, you're celebrated. Win twice, they call you a hero. 3 times, they say words like legend and dynasty. 4, 5, 6 titles, they'll say enough is enough. But when you've won it all 7 times, what's left to say? The trophy speaks for itself. Introducing the full lineup of Ram trucks. Ram, 7-time winner of Motor Trend's Truck of the Year.
Superspeed your life with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet. Get symmetrical upload and download speeds up to 5 gigs. Get started with Fiber 500 at $145 a month, Fiber 1 gig at $215 a month, or Fiber 5 gig at $299 a month. Plus, get 2 SuperPod 6Es with any plan, and a free EcoFlow River 3 and bonus welcome kit with 1 gig and 5 gig plans. Experience tomorrow's islands today with Docomo Pacific Fiber Internet.
Being stationed on Guam There is much to do on the beautiful island, but before you pack, sanitize any household items and leave any organic materials behind to prevent the introduction of invasive species. If it's not native, it could be invasive. Leave invasives behind.
Bans or restrictions. But here at home, current policy from the Guam Education Board allows GDOE students to use their